Lewis Hamilton's SF-25 has just become the center of a full-blown FIA investigation, and what has been uncovered so far has sent shockwaves through the paddock. Just when Ferrari thought they had stabilized their rocky season with 2 consecutive podiums and a much-needed sense of direction, the FIA hit them with a bombshell. Fresh technical evidence, leaked right after the Spanish Grand Prix, has triggered an extended inquiry into the legality of Hamilton's Ferrari. And the timing couldn't be worse. Before diving into the shocking details, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stick with us until the end. What you're about to hear doesn't just involve technical checks. This could alter Ferrari's entire approach to the 2025 season and seriously shake Hamilton's confidence in the team. Everything escalated after the race in Barcelona. As part of standard procedure, the FIA randomly selected several cars for deeper post-race inspections. One of them was Charles Leclerc's SF-25. But this wasn't a routine check. The inspection was unusually specific, focusing on the rear braking system. FIA officials conducted a detailed evaluation of braking torque, hydraulic pressure distribution, actuator responses, and how these components interact with the electronic control unit. Nothing illegal was found on Leclerc's car, but something was flagged. Sources close to the FIA say the telemetry raised red flags, not about Leclerc, but about Hamilton. In particular, the FIA noticed inconsistencies in how braking pressure was being applied during critical phases of the race. These weren't necessarily performance-enhancing irregularities, but they were unusual enough to warrant a follow-up inspection focused specifically on Hamilton's car. What followed was extraordinary. The FIA requested a full data dump of Hamilton's SF-25 telemetry from the last 3 race weekends. Engineers from both the FIA and Ferrari spent over 48 hours analyzing sensor data, actuator feedback loops, and brake mapping logic. Suspicion arose that Ferrari's software may be interpreting pedal input in a way that maximizes performance under certain conditions, skirting dangerously close to the edge of what's legally allowed.
Meanwhile, Ferrari is scrambling behind the scenes. Team principal Fred Vasseur has reportedly called emergency technical meetings with his lead engineers and compliance officers. Their objective is twofold. First, to reassure the FIA that no performance gains were achieved through prohibited means. And second, to ensure that both drivers are operating under identical parameters for the upcoming Canadian Grand Prix. This couldn't come at a worse time. Montreal is a circuit that demands absolute confidence under braking. Think Turn 10's hairpin or the high-speed chicanes that punish even the slightest miscalculation. If Ferrari is forced to revise Hamilton's brake mapping, it could completely derail his rhythm, race strategy, and tire management. And let's not forget, Ferrari is already trailing McLaren by almost 200 points in the Constructors' Championship. One more setback could effectively end their hopes for 2025. But the implications stretch far beyond Canada. Depending on the FIA's conclusions, this investigation could set a precedent for how driver-specific car setups are interpreted within the rules. If deemed illegal, Ferrari could face penalties or even be forced to standardize their configurations, limiting their ability to optimize cars for individual driving styles. That wouldn't just impact Hamilton's competitiveness, it could fundamentally change how teams approach development. Even more pressing is the political tension brewing within Ferrari itself. 2 schools of thought are reportedly emerging in Maranello. One believes the team must take full advantage of every regulatory gray area to keep pace with Red Bull and McLaren. The other, closer to Hamilton, fears that this aggressive approach is what led to the double disqualification in China and could end up costing them even more in the long run. As for the FIA, they're not backing down. Officials have indicated that further inspections may take place throughout the Canadian Grand Prix weekend. Additional tests on braking systems, software control layers, and torque sensors are expected. And if any discrepancy, however small, is found, Ferrari could once again be forced to explain themselves in front of the stewards. So, where does that leave us? With a legendary team walking a razor's edge, its entire operation under the spotlight like never before. with a 7-time world champion who risked everything by leaving the comfort of Mercedes to join Ferrari, now demanding clarity, accountability, and above all, trust. And with an FIA already criticized for inconsistency this season, now digging deeper and peeling back every layer of Ferrari's technical setup in search of absolute compliance. The situation is tense inside Maranello. What began as a standard post-race inspection has now triggered an internal reckoning. Engineers are combing through data, technical directors are being asked uncomfortable questions, and behind every closed door is a sense of urgency that cannot be overstated. Because this is no longer just a technical matter, it's a cultural one, a matter of trust, transparency, and whether Ferrari can continue to operate at the top level without spiraling into chaos. For Hamilton, this investigation is more than just a procedural nuisance. It's a test of faith. He came to Ferrari not just to race, but to build something historic, to bring back the glory days,